Oh. As you know, my name is Barbara Smith. I'm from New York. And the last time I was talking with you guys, I was telling you that I had it with Ricky. That I was going back to New York to spend time with my son, Jeffrey Allen Smith. But I never made it there. I didn't go back to New York like I planned. But I did talk with Ricky. I said, Ricky, I said, it's over. I said, I'm going back to New York and it's just over. I mean, he called me the B word twice. And it wasn't Boney Barbara. I mean, you really seriously called me the B word. And then Ricky looked at me and he had this look on his face. I never seen this look before. He told me, he said, look, you better shut up before I punch you in your face! And I looked at him, I'm like, oh, wait a minute now, Ricky. Oh, come on. My dad don't even talk to me like that. I never had a... Next thing I know, I was picking myself up off the floor. He actually hit me. And then that wasn't bad enough. And then I'm listening to him. I mean, he put me down. I mean, he called me so many names. And then he told me that if I was to leave right now, I wouldn't have anything because he's going to take everything away from me that he'd given me. And then he told me no other man would ever want me. I mean, it was stuff I didn't really want to hear. But then I had to be the bigger person. So I asked Ricky to forgive me. And then I apologized to him. And I said, Ricky, I said, I would never, ever, ever, ever ask you again what you do for a living. I won't do it. Then all of a sudden my dad called. And the first thing he asked me, what does Ricky do for a living? And when can I come to San Antonio to visit? But see, my dad haven't been to San Antonio, but I always send him pictures. I send him pictures of Jeffrey and myself, and sometimes I include Ricky in those pictures. You see, Jeffrey, he had all the toys that he could ever want. We lived in a fabulous apartment. Oh my God. I had designer clothes, designer shoes, handbags. I even went to the hair salon and the nail salon twice a week. You know, just to keep everything fresh. Because I really wanted to look good for my man, Ricky. And so that's what I did. I looked good for Ricky every day. But then one day, something unusual happened. Ricky called me during the day. And normally that doesn't happen, but it was Valentine's Day. And so I thought about it and I said, you know what? This is really good. I'm glad you did call me because now I am preparing you this special recipe. And I know you're going to enjoy it. And I can't wait to see you. That's what I told Ricky. And so I thought about it. I said, you know what? I need to make sure I get a babysitter. So I called Miss Sanchez so she could watch Jeffrey. And there I was ready to get ready for Freddie. So I went and bought this red sequins nightie. And I had this red hat. And I had these red stilettos. Oh, I was ready for Freddie. So here I am making my plans how I was going to spend this night with my man Ricky. So the plan was to put on this nice nightie. And then I was going to get this hat. And I was going to fill it with chocolates. And then I was going to sit there and just feed them to Ricky like that. Just feed them one after the other. And then I was going to call him my brown chocolate Valentine. You see, Ricky, he was mixed. He was black and mixed with something else. But he was really light-skinned. I mean, he could pass for white. But he was going to be my brown chocolate that day. And I was so excited. So here I'm waiting for Ricky to come home so I can get ready for Freddie. Oh, I couldn't wait. But next thing I know, there was no Ricky. So I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. Still no Ricky. So then I tried his cell phone, and he didn't answer. And that was really unusual. Here I am planning this candlelight meal. I mean, it was like flowers all around the house. If you come in there, all you smell is these fresh roses. But no Ricky. So here I am like, something must have seriously happened. So I immediately called Miss Sanchez and I said, can you please keep Jeffrey overnight? Because I didn't know what was going to happen. Maybe I had to run out in the middle of the night. I didn't know, so I didn't want Jeffrey there. So she let him stay at her house. I stayed there trying to figure out what was going on with Ricky, because it's Valentine's Day. Where is Ricky? And that's what I'm thinking to myself. So all of a sudden, I'm sitting there waiting still, haven't heard nothing. And I didn't know any of his relatives. No one. I couldn't call a cousin or aunt, no one. So all I can do is just stay up half the night just wondering, where is Ricky? I fell asleep here and there. For the most part, I was up trying to figure out what in the world. Valentine's Day of all days? No Ricky? And I plan all of this? So anyway, to make a long story short, Ricky called me in the morning and he told me, he said, I'm being detained at police headquarters. And he told me that it doesn't look good. And then he also told me that he was going to go back to prison. And he was going to explain everything later. So here I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, prison? Wait a minute, Jeffrey dad is in prison for life and now he's prison? So now, all of a sudden I thought about it. I said, well, at least I can go see him. So I written down the address and everything and I go to the jailhouse to see him. But they wouldn't let me see him. So here I'm crying hysterically. I thought maybe if I get really emotional and dramatic, they'll say, okay, ma'am, go see him for 5 minutes. But it didn't work. They would not let me see Ricky. So I went back home. And I was so sad and I'm crying and everything. Next thing I know, Miss Sanchez knocks on the door to bring Jeffrey home. You know, and I'm trying to smile, but inside I was hurting so bad. It was like I was torn up over that thing. Because here's Ricky in prison. And now I'm thinking, oh my God, he told me that he's going back to prison. So that means he's been in prison before. But I didn't know he ever been to prison to start with. So now I'm asking myself, what do I really know about Ricky? And that's what Miss Sanchez used to always ask me, what do you really know about Ricky? And so now I'm asking myself, what do I really know about this Ricky? So anyway, to make a long story short, I end up just giving Miss Sanchez, you know, a nice hug and told her thank you for watching Ricky. Jeffrey, I gave her $500, you know, because at the time money wasn't an issue. You know, I just wanted to make sure that, you know, I can take care of her because she took care of me, to helping me out, you know, with my Jeffrey. So now, she had a nephew. Her nephew name is Manny. And every time he see me, he would always tell me, I got what you need. And I'm like, wait a minute, what are you know? And he kind of got my attention a little bit because I was thinking in terms, okay, Valentine's Day, I was ready for Freddie, but Ricky never showed up. So that night never happened. And every time I see him, he says the same thing. I got what you need. And then I thought about it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting hysterical, depressed, and oh my God, what am I do? What am I do? So one day I approached Manny. And I told Manny, I said, Manny, give me what I need. So, Manny pulled out some cocaine. And we went into my apartment while Jeffrey was sleeping and I got high. And that's my first, I've never done drugs before in my life. But he introduced me to cocaine, we got high, it was a nice high. Oh, I was feeling so good, I forgot all about being ready for Freddie. I just wanted that cocaine. It made me feel good. And then he gave me more cocaine. And then more. And then he introduced me to pills. I tried those too. And then I went to visit Ricky in prison. You know, Ricky will always say when I go there, babe! Hey, babe! Are you gonna wait for me, babe? You gonna wait for me to get out? And I will always tell him, yeah, I'll be around, Ricky. I'll be there. And at that time, I was so high, I would have told Ricky anything. So anyway, to make a long story short, my man Ricky's in prison. Now I know what it's like to try some cocaine. So now I come back to my apartment. There's Manny, my good old supplier, Manny. So he gave me more cocaine and more. And then he decided to flip the switch on me. He told me, hey, it's going to cost you. And that time I wasn't worried about money because I remember my conversation I had with Ricky when I went to see him. When Ricky asked me, he said, babe, babe, when you going to wait, babe? And then he told me, he said, he had the big stash of money in the apartment. And he had a couple of bank accounts that I now have access to. So that was in the back of my mind, like now Ricky's in prison, but yet he told me where the stash was. Big stash of money. So, now that Manny's telling me it's going to cost me, I'm like, I got plenty of money, I don't care. I mean, as long as you deliver it on time. And then he introduced me to crack cocaine. Crack cocaine. I thought I died and went to heaven. Oh my God. I took that crack cocaine and it became my Freddie. I even named it Freddie. That was my Freddie. That crack cocaine. And the more I took that crack, the more I wanted crack. Because see, crack was a lot cheaper than that cocaine was. So that crack, I can keep that around my apartment all the time. I kept crack cocaine in my apartment. And next thing I know, I'm looking around, I had all these people living in my apartment. We were all just getting high. People I didn't even know. We all living in my apartment. Getting high off this crack cocaine. And so now I'm getting high and I'm enjoying this high. Ooh, the way it made me feel. Then all of a sudden one day, Ricky, he wanted me to come see him in prison. You know, and that day I didn't even want to go see him. I really didn't, because I was kind of embarrassed. By that time I had lost about like 75 pounds. My skin, my face was all shrunk in, my eyes was really big. So I didn't want to go see him, so I didn't go see him. You know, I was just like, let me just do me. So I'm just hanging around these people I didn't know in my apartment, we're getting high and so forth. And I didn't want Jeffrey to see me, that's the one thing. I did not want him to see me getting high. But then I wanted to be high all the time, day, night, it didn't matter. I just wanted to keep that high going. So I got to a point I never saw Jeffrey. And the thing about it that Miss Sanchez, she became my round-the-clock babysitter. Because she kept Jeffrey more than I did. And then all of a sudden, when Jeffrey was about like 5 years old, there was a knock on the door from CPS, Child Protective Service. And they was there to take my Jeffrey away from me. And it's just what happens, my mom called at that very moment. My mom called. And I cried, I said, Mom, please. I said, Mom, please get on a flight and come here to San Antonio and get Jeffrey. Mom, please come get him. My mom came. She got Jeffrey and took him back to New York. And then my mom, she begged me. She said, I need you to come, please come back to New York. Leave San Antonio, come! And I told my mom, I said, I'm coming. I promised her. I said, Mom, I said, I'm going to get a flight this weekend. This weekend I'm coming. Mom, this weekend. I'm coming, Mom. I'm coming this weekend. But that weekend never happened. I never made it back to New York. And now, I promised my mom I was coming back to New York. I promised Ricky that I was going to wait for him till he got out of prison. But at this point, I was only concerned about myself. I wanted to take care of me. I wanted to feel good all the time. I just wanted to feel good. So now here I am in a position where I just wanted crack at any price. It didn't matter. And I lost everything at a great price. I mean, I lost everything that I had. I mean, I was living in this luxurious apartment. I mean, I had all the designer stuff. I mean, real nice stuff. I lost it all. The apartment. I lost all of my clothes, shoes, handbags. And then I had this car. Oh, God, if you saw that car I had. This car was actually purchased right off of the showroom floor of a dealership. And I used to drive Jeffrey around in this car. But I lost that too. Everything gone. And that's when Ricky wanted me to come back up there to prison, and I couldn't go. I mean, I just couldn't go. My life was in a different direction now. I was doing different things now with my life. So it's to the point that all I wanted was to get high, and I would do anything necessary to get high. And that became my life. And now at this point, here's Ricky. He's still in prison. He had 10 years. Now they add another 5. And the more I was finding out about Ricky in the streets, I doubt very seriously if Ricky would ever get out of prison. We say prison, but to be honest, I call it a rat hole. And I call it a rat hole because I spent three years in prison myself. Prostitution, robberies, and then drugs. Possession of drugs with the intent to sell. Now the robberies, prostitution, yes. But those drugs, they wasn't for intent to sell. I was sick of my life. I was tired of my life. I wanted to end my life that day. I didn't want to live anymore. I was done. I was done with this, everything. I wanted it over. I wanted to be done with it. So the next thing I know, here I am. I was in a coma for 2 weeks. Then I was on suicide watch. And from there, I was put into this women's rehab program at this church. First, I didn't like it. I was like, come on, I ain't got no time to be around no people like this. I mean, why I gotta be at church? Why couldn't it just be a regular building, a church? But I had to stay in this program. So here I am with these women. I shared rooms with them. And I mean, that was my life at the time. But nobody forced me. They didn't force me to say, give your life to Christ, or you need to take on religion. No one bothered me. But then one day I thought about it. And I went into the chapel of this church, this rehab. And I cried out to God. I said, God, you got to help me, God. I am so sorry for what I've done with this life that you gave me. I screwed up real bad, God. And I asked God, I said, please forgive me for my sins, everything I've done wrong, please. I can't go on like this. Please, I need you. I need you. I asked him, I said, please, come and live inside of me. Direct my life. Control this life, because I can't do it myself. And at that very moment, he came and lived inside of me. And I was a brand new person. No more drugs. No more prostitution. No more trying to commit suicide. And no more Ricky. I now had a new life to live. And now that I'm in this facility, I won't be here forever. And when I leave here, I can go where I please and do what I please. And what I'm pleased to do is to go back to New York and spend time with my young man, Jeffrey Allen Smith, with my mom and with my dad. That's what I desire to do. My life is not over yet. I still got a chance to do something with this life. And that's what I want to do, something new. I want to experience what God had planned for me from the beginning. I now can have that opportunity. So I'm not here to tell anybody what to do with your life. I'm not. But think about it.